Hi there. Hey, Tom Romeo from PCS. I want to show you another quick short video of some of the new features we added to Traverse. Now, when I say new features, I don't mean that we added some great new functionality. I added new features in terms of streamlining operations. I want you to be able to open up Traverse, start using it, and be able to use it much more quickly. So we added a few new features to Traverse to help you do just that. Also notice, I'm on a cloud server in Azure, right? It's azure.com. It's got a little lock, which means it's a secure connection, right? Right? Certificate is valid. And this is a self-signed certificate. We went through the process of creating a self-signed certificate that then we trusted so that we can have a secure connection up in the cloud, but we don't have to pay a certificate authority. And I will show you how we did that when it's time to talk about it. So I'm going to log in as myself, and you see, our demo customer. This is the customer we chose to do a demonstration for. And we can always put in anybody's logo. So when you purchase Traverse, we set it up for it to look like it's your system. So what I'm going to show you right now, if you've never seen Traverse before, you might not really notice it. When I click Add Edit Assets, you see how the tax documents, which is the asset type, is automatically pre-populated. And that's because we only have one asset type defined in this version of Traverse. You could very well create as many asset types as you like. Notice I only have one. So let me show you what happens if I create a second asset type, go back to Add Edit Assets. Now you see it's blank. And the reason is because I don't know what you're going to do, right? But if you only have one asset type, then when we go and add an asset, it only has one type. Now I've created a bunch, right, in here. These are for demo purposes. I really don't have, Michael Bennett's tax return, but I thought it would be funny. Great. Okay. So that's one of the things we did. The other thing we did is, let's say you're in a tax firm like H&R Block, and you want to start creating new tax folders for all of your customers that you're going to be doing work with this year. Okay, so we have a quick add assets screen. See how the type ID is pre-populated. Now, if you consciously put special numbers for your ID, fine. You can type that as your ID number, right? And then you could say, oops, I hit the caps lock. Right? Put a nice description so we could find it. You notice how we've got our locations that we can select from. However, if I have a bunch of barcodes printed, I could very well just scan the barcode that I want, and it will automatically populate that column with that barcode, with that item that I just scanned. So either way, it doesn't matter. Save it, it's saved, and now I have my file folder in front of me. It's blank. I print it, and there it is. It goes right out to my Dymo. I print it, I stick it on the file folder, and now I move on to my next customer. So creating tax documents into Traverse is that simple. We tried to minimize the steps so you can get the job done quicker. That said, if I come into my regular assets page and look that document up, you notice how we are missing some data. And that's because this is just ancillary data that may or may not be terribly important right away, but it's data that you might want to fill out so that when you want to do a search later, you can search on any one of these items. I'll show you what I mean by that. So if I come home and type Daffy, of course I find the record because his name is in the description, right? But I also made this person the owner, right? And you see how now I've got different customers, right? And then you see how this particular customer has Bugs Bunny's tax document associated with it, right? So I can search that way. So for Daffy, Abel Sheldon, right? So if I click on that and I type in Sheldon, right? That's my customer. And then I could show all the items that belong to that customer, and it brings me right back to that tax document. And then I could print it from here as well if I want to. Same thing. So that's what we did. We tried to streamline the act of entering new data very, very quickly so that you can get more done in less time. Also, one of the things that we did early on with Traverse, I'll just pick up any record, right? So I've got Joe Biden's tax return. Not really. I cannot change the location from this screen. Once the location is chosen, I cannot change it. However, I can perform a move transaction, and then I can move that document to that location. You see how now it moved. I can look at the history of the transactions, and you see that's the move that just took place. It's at the top of the list. So they go in reverse chronological order. I could also check this item out. And again, if I have a little cheat sheet of people, I could scan a person, check it out. It automatically does the lookup. And now you see it's out to this person. And then if I look at the history, the checkout is at the top of the list. So that's all I wanted to show you. Wait a minute, there is one more thing. So you notice how our locations are true locations. However, I've got some users here, right? So if you have a bunch of users in the system, you could make users locations where you can put it, you can scan an item right into that person's desk. You can add customers, you can add vendors, you can add assets as locations. And what I'm going to show you now is the new feature that we added. So I'm going to take users away, save it. And now if I come back to my Add Edit Assets page and look at locations, you see how now there are no more users in my location list. If I come back to System Configuration and go there and say I want to add customers, add clients to the location dropdown. Now, if I go back to Add Assets, now I've got customers and locations. And if I go back to admin, I can now take them away, right? Clients, I want to take them away. Save it. And now when I come back to Add Edit Assets and go to my location, only locations appear in the dropdown. And the reason for that is because those lists, if you've got a lot of customers or a lot of locations, they can get very big, and this dropdown would be kind of hard to manage. And that's why we have the little green box, because now if you've got a cheat sheet, you can scan it, or you could look it up by putting in some text. And I've got cubicle 2 selected, and now it puts my cubicle 2 into the lookup. So again, I want to keep these videos nice and short, but I wanted to show you all of the things we did to streamline the operation to make it much, much faster for you to get started. Thank you and have a great day.